Conflict de-escalation techniques. Thank you for listening to my podcast, where we often navigate the intricate landscapes of human interaction. Today, we are tackling a crucial skill, de-escalation. We will explore this art of cooling hot heads, diffusing tension, and preventing conflicts from spiraling out of control. Whether you are facing a heated debate, a workplace disagreement, or even a potential physical altercation, mastering these techniques can empower you to become a peacemaker, not a casualty. Okay, so why does de-escalation matter? Let's start with the why. Why learn to de-escalate? Well, the answer is multi-layered. 1. Safety. First and foremost, it's about minimizing the risk of harm. Escalation can lead to verbal abuse, physical violence, and even legal repercussions. Knowing how to navigate tension can keep yourself and others safe. 2. Relationships. De-escalation skills nurture our connections. Whether it's with family, friends, or colleagues, learning to bridge communication gaps fosters trust and understanding. 3. Resolution. Conflict isn't inherently bad. When handled constructively, it can lead to growth and resolution. De-escalation allows us to move beyond the heat of the moment and address the root of the issue calmly and effectively. Okay, so now let's go into the toolbox of de-escalation. Now, let's get practical. What tools do we need in our de-escalation toolbox? 1. Calmness. Stay cool, even when the other person is hot. Your composure becomes a beacon of stability in the storm. 2. Active listening. Truly hear what the other person is saying, both verbally and non-verbally. Acknowledge their feelings, even if you disagree. 3. Empathy. Try to see things from their perspective. Validate their emotions without condoning their actions. 4. Non-threatening body language. Open posture, relaxed stance, and gentle gestures can all contribute to a calmer atmosphere. 5. Clear communication. Avoid accusatory language and you statements. Focus on I statements and express your needs and feelings constructively. Okay, now I'm going to share with you a rather lengthy list of phrases to help you de-escalate a situation before it becomes more hostile. These are just things you can say to help find common ground with the other person, empathize with their point of view. You don't necessarily need to agree with them, but you can maybe at least kind of see where they're coming from a little bit. Little things like this can really help de-escalate the situation and keep it from escalating. So let's go through these quick phrases you can say to de-escalate. Can we agree to disagree on this? I think that's a powerful phrase. It's finding common ground with the other person. It's acknowledging their position. You're acknowledging your own and saying, well, can we at least agree that we're in disagreement? I think it's a great phrase. Another phrase you can say is, can we find a compromise? I'm always talking about finding common ground. Well, if you can't find common ground, then let's ask them, can we find a compromise? Tell me where the common ground is so we can work on this. Third question, can we find some common ground here? Something else you can say, can we step outside for a moment and cool down? Can we talk about this calmly? Now that's a kind of a phrase I use, especially as a family law attorney, and maybe I'm dealing with a difficult opposing counsel or just a difficult person. If I see they're getting hostile, I'll just cut to the chase and just say, hey, can we talk about this calmly? And if they're becoming very agitated, I can always threaten to just, walk away. And we're not going to be able to negotiate on something. And they want to negotiate, so they know, okay, we're going to have to do this calmly if it's going to work. Because we know the only other option is if we can't negotiate outside of court, then we're definitely going to go in front of the judge, and we might not like what the judge says. Okay? Another question, how can we move forward from here? That's a powerful sentence, a powerful question. It acknowledges that we are at some type of impasse and we just want to know, what can we do? How can we work together to move forward? Okay, another question you can ask is, I apologize if I came across wrong. Can we start over? So you're kind of already taking a defeatist position. And I understand if you don't want to do that, but be mindful of the situation, and you have to be the decider of what will probably work best. Something else you can say, I appreciate your honesty. So maybe you're in disagreement with them. It's starting to escalate a little bit, but you can give them at least a little credibility by saying, I appreciate your honesty. If the other person is talking about something difficult for them and it could quickly escalate, you can say, I appreciate your willingness to talk about this, because you acknowledge that this might be difficult for them. Something else, I can understand why you are upset. Let's take a breath and talk this through. I care about your feelings. How can I help you feel heard? Okay, this is a good one. I care about your feelings. How can I help you feel heard? This goes straight to empathy and also giving the other person a voice. Maybe that's all they want. They just want to vent a little bit. And I deal with that a lot too, especially in my line of work as a family law attorney. Sometimes you just got to let the other side feel like they were heard, and then they'll go ahead and come to an agreement. I didn't realize that. Thank you for telling me. So that's acknowledging that they had something important to say that I did not know about. I'm acknowledging, okay, I didn't know about that. I didn't realize that. Thank you for letting me know. I hear what you're saying. Can you help me understand what you need? So I'm coming from a position of asking them, okay, what can I do to help you? I hear what you're saying, so they're heard. They're not voiceless. But I just need a little bit of clarification. Can you help me understand what you need? Another great sentence, I see your point. That also goes to empathy. I understand why you feel that way. Okay, that is also empathy. I think that's also a very powerful statement. I understand why you feel that way. I value our relationship more than this conflict. I value our relationship. Let's work through this together. I want to understand your point of view. Okay, so that is like we want to be empathetic about it, but I just need a little bit of clarification. So help me out here. Explain your position. So I want to understand your point of view. I'm here to listen, not argue. I am sorry you are upset. I'm here to help, not to argue. Is there anything I can do? I'm here to listen without judgment. What's going on? Now, I like that. You're taking a more of a mindful approach because you're willing to listen to them without any kind of judgment. It requires a certain level of presence. And you are also asking them to tell you what's going on. So I'm here to listen without judgment. What's going on? Is there something else you'd feel comfortable talking to? Is there someone else you'd feel comfortable talking to about this? So maybe give them the opportunity to go with someone else, I guess. Kind of puts them in position of power. So I think that's a great sentence. Another statement, let's find a solution that works for both of us. Let's focus on what we can agree on. I like this next one. Let's take a deep breath together. That breathing techniques, I mentioned that in other podcasts. It also goes towards being present in the moment and mindfulness. So it's actually trying to ask both sides to be mindful and more present. I like this. Let's take a step back for a moment. I like this, kind of try to observe the situation from a distance, be a little bit more objective, not get caught up in the emotion. So let's take a step back for a moment. Let's try to see this from both sides. Okay, that's beautiful. Let's try to see this from both sides. Sometimes, especially as an attorney, I have to look at a situation like maybe it's a hologram. In the middle of a room, the situation is the hologram. And I have to be able to look at that from my point of view. I have to be able to walk around it to the other side and look at the same situation from the other side's point of view. And then I have to maybe look at it from another angle, like how the judge might look at the situation. So I like this. Maybe we need to approach this from a different angle. So I'm looking at the situation from my vantage point with my own interests. They're looking at it from a different angle with their own interests. And maybe we just need to both agree to take a look at it from a different angle, a more objective. So take a step back. Something else you can say? Take a deep breath. We can work through this. Now be careful with that, because you're telling them to take a deep breath. It's like you're saying they have the problem. So just be a little careful with that. Something else you can say? This doesn't have to be a fight. Let's find a way forward. Be careful with that. They might jump to conclusions or assumptions that I'm suggesting it's a fight. Maybe they feel that's accusatory. So just be careful how you phrase it. This situation is important to both of us. Let's find a solution that works for everyone. We can get through this one step at a time. Your feelings are valid. I like that statement. It goes towards empathy, acknowledging their position, and why they might feel emotional about something. Your perspective is important to me. That's validating their emotions, validating their position, and maybe some of their arguments. Maybe you don't necessarily agree with them, but you can at least value their point of view. So your perspective is important to me. Okay, let's wrap this up. Remember, de-escalation isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. By equipping yourself with these techniques and phrases, you can transform potential conflicts into opportunities for understanding and growth. Let's build a community of peacemakers, one conversation at a time. Thank you for listening.